and welcome back, everybody, to PNC 2022.
My God, the audience is oh so loud. Last match, game 20, and we have a very southern plane path.
Are we going straight back to Millie, or is it gonna be even worse? Because we've had that twice already. Are we going mill to power? Because there's a team sitting out there. Thinking of which, we have had two teams win games around mill to power. Which two? Brazil and.
Oh, this is going to be
United
ridiculous. Are we also going to potentially see a Quarry? I'm an evil guy. But Quarry is like, I don't know, like the full Sith dark side of enjoying.
I don't mind Quarry.
Oh, dude, it always feels like it's so hard to navigate, and specifically for the players because it's just such a, like, there's so many different moving factors around it and so many sight lines that are blocked. You never know what you're getting into.
I've always considered Quarry the Miramar of Erangel.
See, I always think of it's more like Stalber. I don't know. Stalber just has that same feel to me.
Because it's a mountain.
Yeah, well, it's just got all the verticality that's inside of it coming through. All right, we've been talking about where there's some potential drops. You can see that's going to be Thailand is going to be looking to take some shots at Canada as they come in. Argentina coming around Japan. Turkey is going to be making play towards Military Base Island, following it in alongside of Germany. Brazil is going to go to Mill to Power. Chinese Taipei and Finland both going to the north.
Now, Brazil lands by themselves in the spot they usually go to. That is to be expected. But keep in mind, we know, they know, and I'm sure all of you viewers at this point, 20 games in, know who their neighbors to the west are. And they now know with this circle popping that the only direction they're going to be moving is into the team they're trying to take out.
Okay, so yes, we have the canal that goes through here. We have Military Base Island in play. But we also have the fields that are to the north of Ferry Pier that causes such a big problem. You can see that we did have a skirmish breakout over here, trying to see who can get everything together. Turkey has one of their members down, and we have shotguns coming out, and that's about all we can find around this location.
Japan, Argentina fighting for extra points. There is a gap from Argentina up to Australia in 7th, but for Japan, if they can get kills here early, they got Taipei 2 points ahead, USA 4 points ahead, and only 9 up to Thailand. So get 4 kills here, get moving, and you all of a sudden find yourself in a much better spot on the leaderboard. But before that happens, you have to take out Argentina.
Coming in, you can see near on nothing to work with. These guys coming in, Silzen got the Uzi, man. Takes out the door that is going to reveal some positions inside this one. Pauly's on the other side of it. Remember, he has the shotgun, but there's a follow-up shotgun, so this peak is going to be big. He's got the IR prep, steps around through it. Uzi's coming out, goes up the stairwell, shotgun comes out, does hit it, looks back in, and picks up, trying to stay alive. Pauly does go down, but reinforcements are coming for Japan.
Silson, what are you gonna do? No helmet, does find one now, 3 bullets in the shotgun, looks around, tries to stay put, notes that the Japanese players are right out the door, spots one, doesn't hit it, helmet gone, back down to 18 HP, Kane comes around the side, finds one, Martin with a shotgun in return, finds one as well, 2 down from both teams, flushes now, starting to come through from Argentina as well.
Martin's on the other side of this one. Fisher's finding a good angle for it. And now it is just Keen, the last one up. He's got himself a scope, but definitely not going to need it this close range. He wants to see if maybe he can find the time to get Pauly back up, but there is no options. We're in old school launch PUBG tactics, running into the bathroom, getting ready to close the door, watching your teammates crawl around on the outside, feeding the information over to it. Martin's going to exploit it.
And the first team out of the equation here is Japan. Again, valid effort from a team I did not have many expectations from. They've played aggressive. They've shown me that that region has really got to be respected. But here they fall out in 16th, only 3.5 minutes in.
I mean, again, they were a lot of people whenever they talk about Japan and specifically like, oh, Japan doesn't do FPS games and everything else like that. They have been making massive strides. They've always enjoyed FPS games just in a different style than what we enjoy. And you're starting to see them switch over into more Western-styled FPSs. And I just love this trend because every single time Japan competes, it's fun to watch.
Exactly. And one of the things that I think have really helped improve that factor is Americano and Korn. I mean, I talked to Paperthin about it as well. Americano and Korn coming in to the Japanese scene with that Korean background. I think that has helped push and shove some things around. And curious to see how that can, in the future tournaments as well, impact things. Of course, here, previous match highlights coming through. Brazil struggling. They do manage to get down Canada. Solid 4-piece for Sparkin, but would go down to China right after.
We've been talking a lot about Haven, but Sparking, you got to keep your eye on him as well. He's so hard to contend around with. We do also have a weird situation that is brewing where we've got USA and Indonesia stacked up on top of each other inside the game. Brazil is making a rotation around. They do need to move to the west, but you can see it's getting pretty feisty inside the game itself, so we might want to keep an eye on what's going on over there.
Yep, exactly. Good 4-piece coming through. Vietnam here as well as we jump over to Haisagi. Previous game, 4-piece for Sparking in the early game, 3-piece for Haisagi. Of course, Nate's coming through. All of the teams helping one another. Vex, first one to go down to an 8, and then he swings out around the smoke, finds 2 immediately after. And again, I mean, going back to it, Haisagi, he would not have been there had it not been for Pow's insta-double headshot up towards the player from, I believe it was Chinese Taipei. But what an important win for Vietnam in the previous one.
I mean, that was just such a close game right there. And T-Bone, he can win those. So
he wins those.
Yeah,
more
I
often
mean,
than
he
not.
really does. While this was happening, I believe that we did see the fight that was going on with Indonesia, forced Indonesia to step away with it. I think that they only have 1 player left. USA picking up the kills inside of that one, getting some very needed 3 points.
Yeah, RDK, sole player left alive for Indonesia here. Again, tough tournament for them, but honestly, I think they came into this hoping for a very good experience, and they have been cheered for all the way through. RDK, it's going to be a tough one, but curious to see what you can get out of this one. 56 players still alive as we go ever so much closer to phase 2.
I mean, RDK is actually kind of in a good spot. There's also a lot to be said for whenever you're coming in and the amount of just knowledge you can get from other players and you can take back to your region, to your country, to really step up what's going on. Haisagi having himself one hell of a day today.
Absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, I don't think people counted out the potential of Vietnam coming this high back into it, but I think no one thought Vietnam was going to be in a spot to potentially take over Brazil coming into today. And while there is a little bit of a stretch there still, it is not impossible for them. They just had themselves a win. We know how they can thrive off good momentum. I want to see them go right back into it and get a good result here too, because they are only 14 points down.
I guess try again. If not, you don't first succeed. UK over on the Eastern Bridge, which is not inside the safe zone. Looks like they're patiently waiting for what's going on. And I don't know if anybody's going to come over here, but it could be Brazil. Brazil is playing Milta.
Imagine.
They may rotate into it. So that could be the plan that UK is prepping.
Imagine the backfill. The backfill down towards the crossroads from Brazil. If they have any idea at all that UK might be trying to pull this off, they go in, maybe through Milton, maybe around the back, and try and set up. Issue is, they have to be expecting, I mean, I would be thinking that UK would be doing this, but in Milta. I thought they would be setting up to try and take out Brazil, because if Brazil dies here, they know 100% no one is going to be able to catch them. But that's not the case. They want kills towards the south.
See, just patient faces waiting right now.
They're just chilling.
They hear anything? I mean, that's a good way to be. This also gives them some survivability, not having to test what's going on in circles. Looks like Brazil is leading to the north of Milta. Going to wrap around that one. We'll have to see if they make the cut down to the south as they move through this one. But I think that they've got their eyes set just to the west of Farm, just how close that position is.
Let alone the fact that, I mean, one thing is they might not hop all the way down to the south bridge, but once Argentina makes that, once they cross the bridge, once we see UK in the kill feed, if they're close enough to hear the kills, or to hear the shots, they'll go instantly. If they're close enough to see the knocks, they know they are nearby. And there are only so many places UK and Argentina could be fighting right now. So I would expect to see, if we see this pop off anytime soon, Brazil 180 down and hold them on the bridge.
Yeah, Brazil's just got such an open space. Everybody is playing just to the south of Pachinki. That's where almost everybody is stacked up at the time. So I don't think that we're going to see Brazil bumping into anybody. But if anything, they're getting more aggressive. Like, I mean, VHG is driving around with a revolver right now.
You might as well.
This is the theme of what this game's going to be for Brazil. They know they need to get every single kill that's going to be moving around them. And it's just got to be just full up balls to the wall to see what they can get.
Exactly. Brazil had a chance to go down and hold out UK. Now they might be running into Vietnam, the team that is actively trying to hunt them down. So we'll see how that's all going to pan on out. Argentina seems to me like Martin is expecting maybe teams to wrap down towards Millie. I mean, we got to keep in mind, while everyone is sitting up north, there is still the military hardship potential here.
Korea finds themselves in Chinese Taipei. Quick exchange between them. Savior and Lash both going down inside of it. Soul's going to go ahead and flush out Savior. Now see if we can get some defense on what's going on, because keep in mind, we've been talking a lot about Vietnam, but Korea, these guys can pack a punch, and there's the potential some points to be had, and you know Korea wants it right now as well.
Korea does not want to fall here. Lash already down. One more player down to low HP. Believe that to be in Nonix. Finally, heals do come through, but not the best position to be in. Tires pop by the second.
Brazil hears this. They're moving to the north, and
Yep.
they're going to try to third-party this. Australia also sees it all the way across, but
they need kills, and they need them now. And if you have a chance to third-party, you might as well try and execute on it. You see, they're already out. Circle does shift west, so Millie not in play. The crowd goes wild as Thailand gets one going their way.
Okay, shift's coming out. Haven sees what's going on with Korea, tries to line it up, gets some damage. Are we going to see Korea get knocked yet again? Gets the line back into it, but VHC goes down. Yan Lee finds angle on top of him. Now Chinese Taipei starting to rest in. We're starting to see everybody go down over here. VHC already low on life. This is going to be a big problem. Korea now flanking around back behind this one. They know that they need to get more kills, and they've got to take on these weakened teams. Do line up into another one, and LFP is down.
LFP gets knocked. The flush has yet to come through. As I say that there, he falls. Brazil needs all their players on their feet in order to be even attempt to make this play, to make this catch-up. On the other side, Haven finds Mao Rush. More kills going in the favor of Brazil, but damage has already been done.
While this is happening, Australia is also stepping away from their hillside, moving into Pachinki. They're trying to stop this. Sparking lines up another one, takes down Leo. This fight needs to end quickly, and Brazil knows it. Now starting to make a move around, hopped inside of the vehicles. We've seen vehicle run-bys be a problem for Brazil in the past, but right now they are on fire. They've been lining it up, jump out, running out, trying to spot Yan Lee. He does go down. Brazil already sitting on 4 points and have to continue where a weakened Korea and Australia are already waiting.
It is a hunt for points to catch up to the UK. They found 4, they took 1 casualty though. How will that impact things from here on? And also, both the wounded Korea and Argentina heard all this. Are they going to try and see if they can keep them off? Are they going to let them pass on through? In the meantime, out on the water we go as the ferry brings the German players from Sosnovka to the main island.
Everything has kind of calmed down for a second. UK going ahead, leaving their bridge. They're going to cut out. Argentina still just chilling down on military base island. They're the only ones over there. Indonesia does finally get spotted. RDK is going to get eliminated, ending their turn.
And if there's a team that need these points, these potentially 3 points, again, Vietnam just saw Brazil get 4 points. They need to catch up. Issue is Mexi is styled in with his SKS, finds Cloris, who's now left very, very much alone inside that shack.
We've been talking a lot about China, but guess what? Finland's only 4 points back behind them, and every point right now is going to matter, and they want this one so bad. Can he hit this shot as it jumps out? It could be so important. No, not going to get it, but hey, they already know where at least 2 potential kills are.
Yep, well aware of the position that Vietnam finds themselves in now. It's not necessarily the worst for them to be where they are. In the meantime, Seoul from Korea peeking back on over. Haven sticking around for a little while longer here while the rest of his team has managed to wrap around. But as you're saying, Australia has seen this. UK ain't too far away either.
I mean, Australia hopped inside of vehicles and were counter-moving alongside of Brazil for a second. You can see Tiggs already running back, but it's going to be UK coming in and now cutting off the path that Korea was going to potentially try to take.
Tickleton just shot into the ground too, so Vaughn should have had the audible cue that there's people around there. You can see UK here. They were playing aggressive all the way through this tournament, but the last 2 games, they are not in a hurry. Stay 4 alive. Yep. If you outlast Brazil, you can claim points later on in the game. They are not in a hurry whatsoever.
It is such an It's not insurmountable, but it is such a ridiculous task to get as many kills as Brazil needs to get, but they are playing it the right way. Already sitting at 4, they're roaming around, but here's the problem. They're roaming very far to the northwest, and guess what? Nobody's there.
But the circle's going there now. Wait and see.
See how this one goes. Australia looking down into USA. Korea's going to be following up back behind Brazil. Circle is going to go. Fairy pair.
Is that a caster curse? I'm not sure. Could not go further away from Brazil. Having said that, though, they do have a pretty clear line to make their way down towards the southern side because
Argentina
really is out west. Argentina.
You've been waiting so long. Forward. They wanted to bridge camp, and imagine if they died to a bridge camp. No! Silza just runs right in. This is chaos. Argentina's they're just using cars to mow down everybody in Turkey.
Why shoot people when you can run them over? 2 down already. As Turkey gets caught by surprise, they were the ones sitting ready and waiting, but can't get anything going their way. Silson does get knocked, but he's forced to make a leave.
Thailand's coming in back behind this. They are going to hear what's going to be happening as Turkey is going to be trying to regroup. Vietnam, Rome in, USA is going to be coming alongside of them. There's a big wide field that's going to be in the north of this that nobody's going to want to play. There's the hillside, though. The hillside is where everybody's going to be trying to crash into. China now bumping into Finland, and this is a pivotal fight.
Dual barrels in hand. Page able to get on in. Finds one. Get him on out, but they have knocked players off their own, making 3 added, and the Chinese cavalry has arrived. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. Page, all that's left alive for Finland. Comes back in. Finds one. Almost gets the second. Peeks on out and gets the second as well. Still one more player left alive. Though Einstein peeks. He does it! And Page single-handedly annihilates China.
Here is the opportunity for Finland to jump up there. They have the capabilities to surpass China. It is not going to be too difficult. Just a couple more kills. But guess what? There's a new party that's rolling on, and that's going to be Brazil. Dropping right in, but good shots coming out. And it's going to be Vietnam that takes down Avon, who's been so impactful.
If there's one team you do not want to be giving these kills right now, that is Vietnam. Brazil heard the shots. They thought they were running into a one-person Page, but they run into a 4-man strong Vietnam instead.
There is the capabilities that Vietnam can turn this around and take Brazil's position if they can pick up these kills. Page, go ahead, find out what's going on. Brazil is eliminated, and this is just a mess all across the leaderboard.
Brazil came in from the hillside. Again, we saw the circle was far away. This was their first approach. They heard shots. They knew there was something going on in the compound. Usually those fights will be where Vietnam are. They saw China casualties as well. They thought they were in a 4v1. They got stomped by Vietnam.
That's a very big problem. Now the UK knows Brazil's out. That means that they can do whatever they want, and they're trying to assert their authority onto Australia, but USA has a different mindset, trying to crest this hillside and see if they can find an angle to what's going to be happening. H1 does open up onto Luke 12 and knocks him down.
Australia thought they were the ones to backstab UK. Instead, it's USA peeking on over the top. Finds one. Monty is there for response. No, as a matter of fact, finds T-Bone down below, so the fight is still going on all fronts.
Sharp shot does manage to get a knock onto Monty. Australia finding themselves very pinched. UK on the other side of this one. Tickleton trying to find his way out, but it's going to be Kickstart that gets knocked onto him. Just Flood, the last member up for Australia right now, trying to gather some more points, just at least so hard to counter these last couple of days.
Solid plays from US, then back off. Stab, back off. Constantly make sure you have the float to play around. Sharp finds one. One more flush comes through. Flush goes down, and that is Australia out of the equation, but USA ain't done here. Bart Folds gets the flush. 8 kills already, and we're only now hitting phase 4.
USA, where has this been? Michael's on the side of this one. Last one up, goes for the spray into Sharp Shot, but that was a quick spin. He does get the knock on a Sharp Shot, trying to survive, does get the flush as well, but is going to go down. USA, with Thailand short on their heels, needs to pick up more points to get some distance from them.
Top teams out. Vietnam still alive with 4, with the only compound left in this game. They are 13, make that 14 points behind Vietnam as we speak. But look at this. USA, they have set up shop. Vietnam sitting tight, but Thailand will be the next ones to have to make a move.
It's Korea hiding out in a shack right now. Thailand's looking in between whether they want to go Canada side or USA side on their approach, but Vietnam has control over everything that's going into the field to the northeast of their position. Germany is inside of Barry Pier still, and they're taking some shots at Argentina. Is going to shift them away, but the big influencing factor right now is the Vietnam-Korea survival match that is going to be happening, and I don't know if anybody's going to send it Vietnam's direction, and that's what Korea really needs.
Well, there's going to be people shooting. Issuers didn't think Shrimsy, or didn't think Soul was going to get an angle down below. Page, in the meantime, from up the hillside, he was down in the compound, has managed to sneak his way away from there. Up the hill, now starting to shoot as well. They're 1 point down from China, who are already out.
Does Korea get the kill onto Shrimsy? If anybody manages to take that, that could be absolutely huge. Thailand trying to make their push in, but Canada is just holding the wall on them right now, looking down into a barrel of fish. Germany's on the back side of it. Thailand just finds themselves in a terrible position with nowhere to go.
Only so many angles of approach for Thailand, unfortunately, forced in between 2 teams. Now, I'm still looking up towards Page because look at the leaderboard on the left-hand side. Finland, very good position, but Soul in the meantime, 1 of 2 players left alive here, trying to do everything he possibly can to keep Korea in contention for that 3rd place spot.
You can see Korea knows that they need all of these points. USA has a stack of vehicles over there. Vietnam, very aware that Korea is trying to step out and get some more points. Don't forget about Page. He's still alive. He left the compound that Vietnam is presently in, all the way up into the north and trying to pick up more points. They're only 1 point away from China right now, so this fight is big for every one of these teams.
He needs 1. Belmont falls as well. Noren's single player now left alive for Thailand. This next shift, if it has got Vietnam written all over it, I'd be scared if I was Brazil.
Germany is now making a move as well into Canada. That's going to be happening in the south. Circle does pop. A lot of fields still in play, but the hills are going to be the big factor where a lot of these teams are going to be bumping heads.
Let's see Look at Germany. 2 players across already, but they still have 2 yet to make a play. Sucker, Chris trying to find angles. Chris steps up, finds Shinboy. 1 down from Canada. Finna running to the rescue, but will Chris spot him as well?
Here's the problem. Never forget about Thailand, though, either. Norrens is still alive. Adam playing the low ground into this one. Looks back over to It's Chris and sees a potential point. Wants to play it quiet, see if he can explore it. Nope, never mind. He says, that one's mine. I'm going to go ahead and take it. Get some more from the crowd right now. And Germany's got to figure out what's going on. Norrens taking some damage. The blue's going to be coming in. This could be a big problem for him if he's going to try to survive off of this. Loki and the rest of Korea still looking in as somehow everybody's surviving off of this, but Paige has got to move down into a low ground point, and that's a big problem for him.
Let's see. USA only casting a busted BRDM for cover. Norrens trying to find more. Knows there are players in the area. He saw the knock on Canada up before. He knows there's one knocked on the other side. The circle is moving in. Norrens, this is your time to make a move because you will not get another chance.
Germany is counter-moving around what Canada is doing, so that might provide an opportunity to move as they can get these shots in. Looking in, Zucker is doing a good job of evading the bullets. Norrens got to make a decision. Does he stay and hold and maybe do some more damage to Germany, or is he going to push into the potential firefight? Adam looking into Germany's position. It's going to be Finna that spots him out, and he's trying to fight his way back into this one. Norrens does get the shots on Finna. He's got a path into the safe zone. He's wrapping around what's going on. Canada pushing down now into Germany's position.
Oh, the hipfire headshot from Shinboy takes out Germany as they fall. Out they go. Shrimsy out of the car as well. Soul on a whole other level with his gun right now. But Glories from inside the cover of the compound shoots him and forces him back inside the
car's
shack.
blocking Shrimsy's knocked though, so they can't get the flush onto it. They know that they need these kills so badly. While this is going on, there's still a lot of counter moves that are going to be happening. USA here's this firefight trying to move in. Norrens is still alive and looking into a weakened Canada, but doesn't want to make the push.
Norrens 4 points away from Thailand, or from USA right now. If he stays alive long enough, those placement points will get it up there. Issue is USA still alive as well. Shrimsy, though, does fall as H1 and Kicked now make their way up towards the fortification as well.
Do they know? Keenan's looking around. I think that they've spotted going for peeks around. This is a very complicated pathing to move through, so he's trying to use that to his advantage. Going for peeks. Norrens already taking a lot of damage, trying to make sure that they can hold this one together. You know that the Canadians are trying to see if they can get some more kills of their own to try to catch up into where Japan is going to be at. If they can manage to win this one, could be big, but it's going to be another pickup for Norrens. He's trying to find it, moving forward, the blue right at his back. This guy is trying his hardest to win for his country.
Doing everything he can, but in the end, he will fall to the salute of the entire arena. Thailand out, and you can hear the crowd. They are proud of every single one of their players that have played so far. America immediately there to follow. Argentina still on their feet, and here they come. Shinboy down instantly.
The circle shifts into this direction, so this is a massive fight for control of this circle. Argentina does lose one of them inside of it, but Canada is just trying to stay alive. Adam does go down. Argentina at 11 kills and still on the climb.
Australia, all of a sudden that 7th place spot does not look guaranteed. Martinson will get the rest on up to Fisher. Vietnam, despite all the commotion, still yet to make a move. Haisaki now finally makes the play on out, but look at the players left alive. Even with the win coming their way, they will need practically all of them in order to beat Brazil.
Vietnam in this position, Korea's got so few passing options and they know it. They wanted to get some more kills out of it, but it's just been so hard to find them just due to the nature of the terrain here. USA even shifting away from them made that so much more problematic. Now Argentina getting this foothold in place means the fact that they could potentially step up against Vietnam, but Vietnam is so strong right now.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of want Vietnam to take the fight to Argentina, but they need to beat them fast. Because if Loki, if the Korean players manage to make their way on forward and do damage, I was just going to say, towards Vietnam, that could be troublesome. The thing is, they know Korea has to make a move, and here they go.
That's the big problem for it. Vietnam has no need to move into Argentina yet. It's Korea that's got to move. They have got to dance through these bullets. Juking through. The aim for Vietnam has got to be the best that it's ever been to close the door on the potential of this. Somehow Paige is still moving around through the back of this because he could jump up right back behind Vietnam.
Imcott spotting him is phenomenal. That could potentially be the deciding factor, because if Paige gets to live free and comes in and backstabs Vietnam, that could easily be game over. Issue now is that, as you can see here, the positioning behind the Havel. No, the Molly as well. They're going to go down. Vietnam does find one, though. 1 kill goes to Vietnam as they get ever so much closer. Now it's 9 points behind Brazil.
Finland is right back behind them. Vietnam is aware of it. Argentina getting more aggressive inside this, being an unexpected factor for it. Every single one of these teams have an opportunity to get some type of movement. The thing about it is Paige is going to have to put in a lot of work and get near on every single one of these kills and a win if he wants it. You can see he realizes that at the point. He's got to try to start making as many points as he can. Haisaki has spotted him, but doesn't manage to get the knock.
They managed to get away, they managed to get to the hills, but look at Fischer. Fischer has wrapped around Argentina, playing a daring style of PUBG. They themselves have a chance to gap Australia if they find 5 or make that 4 more points to break the tie. Paige, headshot comes through, still has plenty of meds though, so he's alive at least for a second. Issue is the blue is coming his way.
Paige is providing some type of opportunity for Argentina to counter move around this, but Dolores has just got to beat onto it. It's going to be Vietnam that does pick it up, and now the pivotal fight to really decide how this leaderboard is going to cement.
Vietnam and Brazil will tie if they win this game. They will tie at 177 if they win this game.
Okay, Fischer playing it quietly, waiting. Vietnam has been very aggressive, moving around. Cud is going to be walking into a very dangerous territory. The blues right at his back. Silzen takes some shots into him, but Fischer does not pop up. He does not reveal himself. Spao on the other side with Glorious, now moving into an area that Martinson is going to have control over.
Martinson all on his own. They're playing the wide flank system here. They're trying to sheep herd the Vietnamese players together for one single final stab. Issue is Argentina, are you spread too wide? The Vietnamese pack is running east, and they've got the dot of the next circle. So Argentina, Silson, Fischer somehow needs to regroup with Martinson.
A 3v4 in this position. You can see the numbers do slightly favor 56% for Vietnam right now, but the lineups between it, Vietnam, they need so much out of this one. Argentina just needs a few kills. There is a world where we could actually see both of them climb.
They could both jump. They could both jump.
Vietnam doesn't want to show their hand, though. You can see it's starting to get pretty nervous. It's been quiet for so long.
You know what, guys? This is the final game. Take your time. We are not going anywhere before this game is over. And there, as you're saying, Matchroom, there is so much on the line for both of these teams to come out victorious in this final game.
Fischer hears the shots, and he's lining up at Caloris' direction. But that means that Haisaki and Nimcud might have an angle onto him. Martinstein still playing out with a little bit more of a vision field. Is not going to get too much out of that. The circle is closing in right now, so that means that Fischer and Imcud are going to have to make a decision on how they're going to move around this.
This is a game of chess. The issue is no one's moving their pieces right now. Everyone's strategizing, and as I say that, Fischer, realizing the blue was on his heels, have to make a play on Argentina. While they wanted to see if they can get kills from the split position before, they now are forced to regroup. They sit on the east, and they can all but pray for the next and final circle to go in their direction.
Argentina needs to get a knock before they can even make an equal footing fight, and that means that they do have their backs against the wall and trying to figure out the best way to get that. But Vietnam, aware that they have circle control, what is Argentina going to do for this?
No vest for Fischer. They've been fighting up close, whereas Vietnam has been able to sit back in the compound and take shots from a distance. Utility and Kevlar is going to be in the favor of Vietnam. But as you can see here, because of the way the land lays, no one has clear vision. No one dares to wrap the north side. Let's see, the circle keeps them both in. It could not be more equal between them. Question here becomes, who makes the first play? Haisaki currently flanked off. Him and Silson playing the same role. They contain on the southern side, not allowing for anyone to push forward.
Argentina has not as much of a hill to play, though, so they don't have as much free movement as Vietnam does. Haisaki's point to the south is really big. If he gets spotted out, that means the fact that the doors are going to open for Argentina. Fischer sees him, starts taking some shots, and almost gets the knock, but the tree is going to survive. Keep him alive.
Crucial. You can see now Silson trying to make a play to see if he can get an off angle on the tree as well. Shots fired once more, but nothing connecting, as I believe Haisaki has made his way back to safety. Look at this. So much utility. 3 nades on Zapao, 3 nades on Imcud as well. They've got the utility. If this becomes a smoke battle, it could go Vietnam's way, but now they're forced to move so much closer to one another. They've heard footsteps, and they're ready and waiting.
This is a massive stack on Vietnam and could spell a big problem for them. Argentina could just find a good peak angle, maybe find something to work with off of this one, but Vietnam, very aware that they have control back behind them now, going to use a vehicle and bring it forward for cover?
I mean, that's all the cover they're gonna get, so I mean, why not? You know they're not close anyway. I'm just worried for Haisagi. Do not give up the southern flank opportunity for Fischer. We've seen that he's been looking that way many times. At one point, it's going to force everyone right into one another, but there's still enough time that a flank could be attempted from Fischer. So Haisagi, look south, because they could be coming your way.
Counter moving around this one right now. I believe the Tiecaster's asking for the audience to get some cheer and support this last firefight. So if you hear that popping off back behind us, that's what's going to be going on. As it's still patient, waiting for these last couple of seconds for the circle to close. It's just massive tension. And for all of these players, you know it's just nerves upon nerves mounting more and more.
Both these teams waiting for the opponents to misstep. Make a wrong peek too hard. Expose yourself in an area where you have no chance of returning fire, but none of them are budging. No one willing to risk anything before they're forced to. Issue here is Vietnam has the hill. They have the space. Argentina are playing with their backs against the wall.
They have to figure out how they're going to move. Vietnam does not have to move first. It's on to Argentina. How do they want to make this move? Throwables now starting to come out. You can see Vietnam prepping the nades. They know that Argentina needs to make the move into them, so they could just go ahead and prep it, try to get some weaknesses out of it, but this stack for Vietnam could also smell their doom.
Fischer jumps into a car. This could be the Hail Mary. This could be the final send that could potentially grant them the win. No. Uses it for cover, brings it a bit further forward, but that car won't last you much longer because the circle is continuing to move on in. Smoke's deployed, but Smoke's about to fade out, as well as the utility now starts coming through for Vietnam.
Doesn't hit enough to be super scary, but it's going to make it to where you can see Silson step back. Blue zone does some damage. This wall is causing a problem. Caloris looking into it, and it's Argentina slow rolling around, but it's going to be continual nades. That one looks like that's going to land pretty close. Doesn't do enough damage to be a problem still. It's just a continual red zone falling next to Argentina, and they're dodging it time and time again. The smokes are out. Can they continue to press, or is the nade barrage going to be too much?
Oh, one nade is all that's needed for them to take it. This could be the one bounces far, but they're still alive.
How many nades does Vietnam have? You can see trying to creep forward. Now Molotovs coming out in utility. No nade hitting enough to create any opening for either squad yet. Lawrence, he goes her, finds the angle. Vietnam though gets two on the other side. Martinson, last one up, moving in, seeing if he can find a way to, and outnumbered. He knows it, creeping in. He's got to find it. Get some shots onto one, but in the end,
it's what a game. They will tie. Who will end up in second? I'm not sure, but what a fight back in